We're going to get started right now. We have a lot of things happening right now, which is why everybody's thinking like, well, there's somebody at the door, we have grades, I just saw my neighbor. You guys have a lot of things going on because we have a lot of things happening at our school. Today you're going to see a great parent meeting with a lot of financial aid information, college information. We're going to see some information on how to get community resources, different groups and trainings for parents that we're offering. We're going to introduce you to our community liaison, a brand new position we had at our school that we hired somebody to work with parents specifically. You're going to find out how you can volunteer here so you can be hanging out here all day long like we do. We're also going to split out into these breakout sessions, and I wanted to start talking about this. The financial aid workshops, we have 2 of them today. One of them is for financial aid, the FAFSA for college, and the other one is for DACA or DREAM Act. And I want to let you know, if you want to go for yourself or for a friend, you can do that. You're not going to sign anything saying that, DACA, DREAM Act, I need help. It's for people who may or may not have access to some of the documentation required for the FAFSA, for financial aid. But you can also go for a friend if you want to take the information back to somebody else that you know. And that way, if they're not comfortable going, you can go for them and get the information. It's valuable information, and we have resources for every student here if they plan on going to college. So that was all very serious. Let's get a little bit more peppy. I want to know if how many of you came to the last parent meeting? I think more of you did because I see some faces. How many of you came to the last parent meeting? Okay, can you guys, we're going to do the Raider clap. I don't know if you remember the Raider clap once, clap twice, Raiders, right? And the parents that weren't here, they can learn what it's all about, okay? So let's try it out. It's okay. We're in progress right now. This is only your second time doing it. And we have a couple of students in here that better show how to do it too, so. Okay, you guys ready? We're going to do the Raider clap. Raiders, clap once. Oh! Don't break my heart. Okay, let's try it again. Raiders, clap once. Clap twice. Raiders, right? That's when we say Raiders. Everybody say, okay, let's try it again. Raiders, clap once. Clap twice. Raiders. That's right. Thank you. Welcome. And the inventor and actually key player here in organizing all of our systems is Mr. Principal Lee Romero. I'd like to introduce him if you can give him a round of applause. Welcome, Mr. Romero.
Thank you, Aaron. So I'm going to tell you I'm not in a good mood because I just saw my son's grades. Even as a principal, I'm going to tell you that it frustrates me. It's like we have an agreement. Our agreement is you can't get C's. Just don't get C's. And during the whole last 3 weeks, his last 6 weeks, I see him hanging out with his phone, watching YouTube, listening to music, watching just hanging out, and I'm like, did you do your homework? Oh yeah, I got it, I did it, I'm good, everything's good. Everything's good, Dad. Chill out. All I ask, he doesn't get C's, and what do I see on his grade? AP Government, C, AP Stats, C. And it's like, it didn't change from last grading period, thinking that it was going to change. But I wanted to tell you that because even as a principal, it's still, I have not figured out the magic key, the magic button to motivate my own kids to do what I want them to do, right? And it's a struggle. And that's why we're here today, because it's a struggle every single time. Even I feel it. I know you feel it. Although, let me ask, how many parents here have their students get straight A's? I'm just curious to see. Anybody here? A couple of you? It's such a feat, and I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what you do. Do you beat your kid? No? I tried that. It didn't work. I tried keeping food away from them. It didn't work. I tried I tried everything, and it just didn't. I haven't figured it out. So I'm a little disjointed right now because I told him, I walked by him in the hall out because he goes to school here, and I said, we'll talk later. And I just walked by, and he's like, oh no, he knows what happened. But it's a struggle. Let me also tell you that I'm learning through this process too. I used to be a counselor, and through this process of kids getting accepted to colleges, it changes every single year. I thought I figured out the compact for success because my son wants to go to San Diego State. I thought I figured it out because there's these tests that you have to take to become eligible. It's not only getting good grades, it's not only taking the right classes, but you have to get certain scores. And I bet not everybody knew this. I didn't know this. You had to get a certain type of score on the SBAC test that he took last year as an 11th grader. So if you have a son or daughter that's in 11th grade right now, or 10th grade, they need to be thinking about this SBAC test, because if they don't score a certain score on the math and the English proficiency piece, they're going to have some challenges going to San Diego State through the compacts for success. So I saw my son's scores. He's at that borderline. I don't know if he's going to get accepted. And so I told him that last night, and we were like, oh man. And his bottom line is, well, that's not fair. And you know, I tell him all the time, life ain't fair. But I didn't figure that out because it changes every single year. Math, writing, reading are so important. And the more your kids are reading and writing and doing their work, taking these mock PSAT tests are so important that they get accustomed to these, because that's what the colleges judge them by. They don't judge them about character. They don't judge them based solely on grades. It's these standardized tests that are very challenging. So keep that in mind. So you are here today, and you're going to be breaking out to different groups to get some more information on what you need to do to prepare your child, or if your child's a senior, what's the next steps. I want to leave you with this one. Last time I talked to you, I was talking about leaving our son. Our oldest son was leaving for UC Davis. He went to Southwestern College for 2 years, and then he transferred to Davis. And I was telling you that I was going to be a man, and I'm not going to cry and all that kind of stuff. My wife's going to cry and all that. When we dropped him off, my wife kept making excuses. Hey, let's go to Target, sweetheart, and we'll buy you some stuff. You need some towels, you need some, you know, she kept making excuses, and I was like, no, let's go. Give him some money, he can go to Target by himself. And my son was like, he wanted us to go because he wanted to explore the campus by himself. My wife kept making excuses. I said, let's go. So she's crying as we're driving away. I kid you not. So Becky Bravo is one of my assistant principals. She just had a baby. 2 days later, she calls me and she says, oh, my baby, I love my baby, this and that, all those wonderful things you say when you have a brand new baby. When she said that, I'm driving, I start bawling. I cry out, you know, one of those uncontrollable, ugly cries. Not just a little bit of tears, the uncontrollable, ugly cry, because I realized how much I missed my son. He called me on my birthday last week, and I was depressed that he called me because I had to say goodbye to him. Crazy stuff, and I'm wanting to prepare you for this craziness that you're gonna have when your kids leave you and go off to college or do other things. It's like, you know, you're with these kids for 17, 18 years of their life, and then they just leave you, and it's just like, and then what's worse is when I call him, he's having such a great time. I want him to be miserable like me, right? They're not miserable, they're having a great time. But it's hard being a parent. I'm glad you're here because we're gonna do this together as a community here. And I value you being here, and this is the best place, I think, to have a kid go to school here. My little 7th grader wants to be a Raider also because he wants to come to this school also because we don't live in the area, but he wants to come here also because he sees how much my son Riley has benefited from coming to this school. So lastly, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be the principal here. I love this place, and I honor that I'm here serving you as your principal. And with that, have a great day. Get a chance to walk around campus, see how wonderful our teachers are, how wonderful this school is. And I know that this is the time where you need to make sure you have an idea what direction you're going to as you guide your son or daughter. But let me give you one last warning. If you're a parent that wants to always talk to the counselor or talk to the teachers to solve a problem, you got to stop doing that. Your kid needs to be the advocate. When it comes to college letters of recommendations, the counselors will be writing a recommendation, or the teachers will be writing a recommendation for your son or daughter. If they don't know your son or daughter, it's very difficult to write a letter. So if your kid's an advocate and they know their teachers and they know their counselors, it's easier to write letters of recommendations. So I always tell parents that because they feel like they need to be the one that's making the contact. No, it's got to be your son or daughter. Okay, so with that, thank you for being here. Have a great day. And again, I'm proud to be a Raider, and I hope you are too. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. I wanted to show you what happened last week. Mr. Romero and Mr. Bonilla and Mr. Tapia have been working hard on brainstorming what our new gym should look like. And we got a new gym, brand new gym. It's been the same gym since the beginning of time. And this is a little video from our assembly. It's very short, 13 seconds. You could see how crazy and fun it is. I don't know how to press play on this thing. Oh, there we go. Wow. Well, you can see them clapping. Imagine the sounds. That's all of our students. That's like a total of probably 1,600 students in there. And they get into the assembly, and it's just a lot of noise and goodness and closeness between the students. So thank you especially to Mr. Bonilla and Mr. Tapia for all they did on putting together the gym, because they helped design it. They coordinated a lot of the decisions that were made to make it our gym and not just any other gym. So you should check it out sometime if you can get your somebody to come and show you the gym. It's amazing. Come see one of our volleyball games. Come see one of our basketball games. Come see anything you want, but come see the gym. It's beautiful. So we're going to move on to talking about our brand new community relations facilitator. This is Gladys Acuna. Can you give her a round of applause, please? Gladys is working beyond her own hours because she wants to, she asks to, she stays here and just works on putting together programs for parents, connecting you to the school, and making sure that everything we do here reverberates at home, and everything you do at home comes back here, and we can receive each other in a nice cycle of goodness. So one thing I have to say, I was so impressed. The other day, she and Mr. Romero were out giving coffee because so many parents are waiting along the curb in the morning to drop off somebody, to get out in the traffic, and they were just giving out coffee, and that was her idea. So I'm going to hand it over to her. She's going to present you with a resource, and welcome, Gladys. We're very happy to have you here.
Thank you. Well, good morning, parents. I'm very excited to be here and to announce that now Southwest High has a parent center that you can consider that a direct resource for you parents to be included in your son, daughter education. If you have any questions, you have any issues that you would like to address to the school that you might have support as a parent, you are always welcome to walk in. You don't need an appointment to visit. I am room 211. And there's something that I would really like to outpoint to all of you parents. Like Mr. Romero mentioned, being a parent is not an easy task. I can understand you, and I wonder how many of you already taught your students yesterday night to say goodbye to their friends on Snapchat or say goodbye to the video games, because maybe today they're going to be grounded after having those grades in your hands. So we're here. You're not alone. Myself, my student, is not a straight A student as well. So I can understand what parenting is all about. It's all about encouraging our kid at home. But sometimes we don't have the resources. We don't have the information updated. We have some information from what we had at home when we were a student or when we were younger. But now it's a different times, different situations that our kids are going through at school. So please stop by. I'll be more than happy to provide you with any information that you need. If you have any concerns, questions that you would like to outpoint to our school, I'll be more than happy to assist you with that. And please keep in mind that this is a win-win situation for you, for us, for the community. We want students to grade. to succeed as a student, and I bet all of you want kids to succeed in life. So that's why we're here. Please stop by. We're having our first workshop, Parent Empowerment. It's about how to understand my adolescent at home. This would be sponsored in Spanish, but we will have a translation if is needed. Let me ask, we have the Community Health Center working with us, providing different workshops. We have Susana and Sonia. They're the ones that are gonna be hosting this next workshop, and let me introduce to them. I'm very happy to be here and to meet you all. So,
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Susana Barañolo, and I've been working for San Isidro Health Center for almost 8 years. And we are teaching parenting and anger management classes and also some workshops. Sonia is the one who's going to provide a workshop, the first one that through Gladys Acuna, we made like a partnership to work over here to bring you these tools that are very important for you. It's gonna be very important for you to help you deal with your kids every day. Okay, so anyways, I have just a few information. Our clinics, you know, San Isidro Health Center, we work for San Isidro, and we're being provided these classes for many years. Our program is Healthy Steps, and our classes and workshops are basically for personal growth. So we're gonna have the first one is gonna be about adolescence, and something that we all have adolescents in this class, right? In this school, actually. So I think this is going to be a very important information for you. The classes are going to be for 3 weeks, starting November the 3rd. And the class is gonna last 2 hours, so it's 3 classes where you can have plenty of information about what happens with adolescents. The class is going to be in Spanish, as Gladys says, but there's going to be translation in English. So you're welcome to sign for the class. After this meeting, we're going to be on room 211. And everybody who's interested in taking these classes, please go there, get more information, and sign up for the classes. Okay? Thank you very much. We'll wait for you there. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Gladys and San Isidro Health Center. What we're trying to do this year is bring in more community resources for understanding how parents and the outside community can work better with the school to strengthen the community. And I'll tell you exactly what we talk about community all the time. Oh, the community, the community. Well, what we mean by that is that, I'll give you an example. In a moment, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to take a quick survey on your phone. And the survey is about family literacy resources. And what we're finding is, we're trying to teach students here at school, right? Education, let's teach them to read better, write better, think better. But we also have noticed that when you have support at home for that, then obviously students are doing better. However, when at home you don't have the resources to support your child, I'll give you a perfect example. My parents didn't go to college, and they would tell me, you need to go to college. Great. But they didn't know what that meant. They didn't know how to fill out financial aid forms. They didn't know how to get me ready to read and write in college. They didn't know any of that, and that's okay. They were the best parents I've ever had. But I think they were the best parents I've ever met. But you guys are a close second. But the point is, the more that the outside of the school, that we're exchanging ideas and exchanging resources with each other, I think we can build a stronger school, but we can also make it so the community is continuously developing transforming, and becoming its best version of itself, like they say nowadays, right? So, you may know me. I'm an assistant principal for you, and I'm in charge of academics, teachers, instruction, all things related to that. If you have a problem with the teacher, it should end up with me. It doesn't always, because sometimes, you know, if I'm not here, somebody else takes over. But please email me, voicemail me. We were a month ago having trouble with the voicemails, but I think that's been fixed. So just so you know. So if you guys can, if you want to do this now, you can. It's a short survey. But you can also just take a picture of this. Jotonce.com is a website that you go to, and you type in Raiders. And there's a survey for family literacy. I wanted to give you guys maybe a minute to figure out if you want to do it right now or not. But you can also do it at home or after. This is just to find out what resources you would want at home to make sure that we're supporting reading and writing and all day long with our students. So I'll give you a minute to look at that. Jotonce.com, and the passphrase is Raiders. And there's a link there for a survey. And I'm the only person that sees the survey. And I don't see names. It doesn't ask for a name or an ID or address or anything. All it does is ask your information, your opinion on something. So I won't know who's saying what. You can say I hate you. I don't know. You can put whatever you want on there. But I just wanted to get information so we could see how to better serve our community with reading and writing resources. So go ahead and take maybe 20, 30 seconds to figure out if you would like to do that. Now we're going to be dismissing in about 5 minutes, and before that, it's a WASC year. WASC is the accreditation process for our school. If we don't get accredited, the diplomas are worth nothing, right? But we always get accredited. The question is, when are they going to come back? When do they come back? And a few years ago, we were accredited for 7 years, right? 6 years, with only a one-day visit in between, and that visit's coming up next semester. Ms. Britton's going to speak for a couple brief moments just to explain to you. She's one of our 12th grade English teachers. She's going to explain to you what the WASC process looks like for our school. And thank you, Ms. Britton.
Hello, everyone. I'll just take a moment. You may remember me from 3 years ago when I came to our parent PLC, and you helped us greatly in developing our report for what's happening on our school. And really, it was a great visit. It was a wonderful report. 6 years is the best they offer for our accreditation. They validated everything we were doing at our school. And this is committees that go all through the western United States, including Hawaii. So they compared our school to all of the schools in the western United States, and we came up on top. So that was really great. We're doing the right things. We're moving in the right direction. They're coming back now next March, to just double check that we're continuing on our path. And quite frankly, a lot has changed in 3 years. So we're really proud to be able to share our results with this committee. But as always, we need your help. So if there's anything that you would like to see happening at our school, it's not happening. Of course, we look to you as the parents to speak up and help us out, as Mr. Magnum said, in curriculum, in the classroom, and so forth, in committees, in any kind of classes that you would like us to offer for you, how to read a transcript, how to do a financial aid form, any of that. I may call on you again. Remember 3 years ago, I asked you to come in on a Sunday and meet with these people, and we had the biggest turnout in our district, by the way, on that Sunday. So I wanted to just say hello again. Here I'm back. I think I have a different color hair, but other than that, I'm the same person. And I'll be talking to you soon about WASC. Thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you, Ms. Britton. There's another thing I wanted to emphasize, and this is where Gladys, our community facilitator, comes in handy. We've always had a parent center, but we've never opened the doors so much, and we never had somebody dedicated to that parent center. It was always like, oh, we can use it for a meeting. We can use the parent center for a class after school. We want it to become a true parent center. We want volunteers. We'll help you with the volunteer process. There's a packet to fill out. We'll help you with that. I think the district somebody pays for it. So you don't have to pay for all your fingerprints and all that to be a volunteer. We want you hanging out here. I would rather you hang out here and hang out and talk than on your front porch or wherever you hang out and talk, unless you have to work. You should go to work. It's probably more important. But we would prefer for you to be here. I mean, we can have volunteers helping teachers. We could have volunteers helping at lunch. We could have volunteers helping with anything we can imagine that you would like to do. Even if you just want to come and be here. I mean, we can set that up. So that's why I'm envisioning in the next year or so that we would have multiple volunteers coming in and really being a part of the school. Just our students seeing their parents come and dedicate even an hour or two like you used to in elementary school, right, would be a strong message that we're all in this together. So now I'm going to begin releasing people, and let me tell you where this is going to be. For right now, we have the financial aid workshops. And afterward, if you are interested in the adolescent and parent workshop that Gladys talked about, you're going to go to room 211. That's after all of these workshops. But so if you're a 9th or 10th grade parent, you'll be in the cafeteria. That's here, okay? There are 2 11th and 12th grade parent meetings. If you want financial aid information, you go to the library. That's for college financial aid. The library is in the middle of the school. If you want information on the DREAM Act, which is for financial aid for students who may not have the proper documentation, that doesn't mean that it has to be for you or that you're saying it's for you. It could be for a friend or for a family member or for just because you're curious and you want to know more about it. We're not going to be asking you any personal information there. We're just giving information on how it works. You can go to room 202, which is directly down this first side of the building. It's at the end. It's the last classroom, room 202. And then again, after your workshops, if you'd like to go to room 211 for information on parent workshops and to meet Gladys, our parent facilitator, we encourage that. So that being said, welcome again. It's so hot this week. I can tell that everybody's kind of like, oh, I can barely get in here right now. Like, I want to go to sleep too. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad that we have the biggest parent meeting in the entire district. We're hoping that this starts paying huge dividends in our children's futures as it already has. So thank you very much for being here. Again, if you have questions, we'll be here to direct you where you're going. Welcome again to Southwest High, and you are the most valuable part of this whole process. Thank you very much.